It's a disaster. That's what it is, a catastrophe.
This was just like any other year for 4th of July. The storm woke us up. It was thunder and lightning.
You look at this stuff, and this damage, and you would say, water did this?
Since it had risen that high that we never expected, I assumed it could, I didn't know what it was going to do next.
She said she heard people screaming, Sue, and I'm assuming it is that gentleman who first responders are trying to help out right there, and that water is moving fast.
Rescue teams have been working through the night to find survivors as more than 20 people remain unaccounted for.
You can feel the anxiety here as parents are waiting to hear word about their child.
This was all underwater at one point.
We just never have seen this much devastation.
You can see it on the news, little snippets of video or pictures. Doesn't do it justice at all.
Oh my gosh.
The septic alarm for our house went off around 4 a.m. and my dad, who was in the upstairs garage apartment, came down to turn it off, and he then came in to the main house and burst into our room and saying, "Get up, water's about to come in the house." We're okay. We're all incredibly grateful that we got really, really lucky.
We're standing on the remnants of this bridge over the Guadalupe River in Ingram, and it's hard to describe the feeling. It's honestly eerie. It's humbling. And to give you a clue of just how strong this wall of water was here, the guardrails from this bridge have been ripped off, twisted like plastic, and then chucked over on the other side and on this riverbank here.
You can hear the helicopters, which hardly stop, so you can basically see where the water just came through here and just demolished everything.
This is not the way Darren Potter wants the world to meet Ingram, Texas, where he's lived for a quarter of a century.
It's just horrific, the loss of life on this stretch of river. It's such a beautiful place. It's my happy place.
So the river came all the way up here.
Yep, it sure did. It was rushing too. It wasn't just still water coming up. It was, it would have pushed a bulldozer down this street. It just knocked down everything.
Though his neighborhood is near ground zero of the flooding, he's thankful his home only had minimal damage, and he and his dog Hank are okay.
Well, Hank is the national dog of Ingram. So
that's not the case for most of his friends and neighbors.
This White House is totaled. The Brown House is totaled.
Many lost everything,
including things more valuable than things.
Do you look at the river differently now?
I do. I try not to because I'm a realist person, but it's still heartbreaking.
And heartbreak has ripped through this community like the current. This 50-foot memorial in Kerrville is an ongoing testament to that. Among the mud-stained clothing, the teddy bears, the flowers, the family photos, this is a quiet place to grieve, pray, and pay respects for those left behind and those looking to help, like this Kerrville couple.
We have these angel wings that we used to have in an arrangement, and just seemed more appropriate not to put them on the wall, but to bring them down here and put them on the fence.
And this volunteer from San Antonio who used his vacation time to aid in the search.
We were supposed to go to Colorado Springs, but then everything happened, and I was like, I want to go volunteer. Because we've been seeing videos on TikTok, and it hurt because we got kids, I pray that, all the families that lost somebody, I pray that God brings them comfort, and I pray that God heals them in time.
A prayer shared by many for the men, women, and children whose stories were yet to be written. Deep in the broken heart of Texas, you may think hope is hard to find. But like the river, it surrounds this community, including at City West Church, where volunteers with Mercy Chefs started serving food the day after the floods.
We all got on an early flight the next morning and headed straight in.
Mercy Chefs is a nonprofit that provides disaster relief. And this particular catastrophe hits home for them. The group is based on the East Coast, where volunteers are still supporting communities ravaged by Hurricane Helene.
A year later, we're still feeding 7,000 to 8,000 meals a week there. Knew that we needed to be here because there were so many families that were hurting, whether it was losing a family member, a friend, a child. Anyone who comes in these doors, even if they are professional chefs who work in restaurants, who own their own restaurants, they come in here and they say, look, I'll just take out the trash, I'll do the dishes.
We've had probably the best volunteer response in this area that we've ever had. People are waiting in line to get a shift to be able to come and volunteer.
All right. Thank you so much.
Gary Evans, or Deacon as he's better known, drove 21 hours from North Carolina to be here.
We had so much stuff, that we were able to give to people.
He's originally from New York, where he was once homeless, and now he volunteers after disasters around the country.
I've spoken to people who said that they're from Houston. And they're here because when Houston had their flood, people from here went to help them. And the thing about it that hurts me is that we can't do this every day. That it takes a disaster. It takes loss of life. It takes that type of situation for everybody to come together.
There is a light here in the midst of complete and utter darkness. To see people just come together in a time that is needed is just a really beautiful thing.
In this uncommon time, coming together is a common theme. You'll find that even in places you might not expect, like Happy Hooves Family Pharmacy in Kerrville.
When tragedy strikes, especially a natural disaster, you run out of home and you leave home and you're not thinking about grabbing your medication. That's probably the last thing that you're thinking about.
In the aftermath, the pharmacy gave away free emergency supplies of medication.
You get stung by a bee and you could have an allergic reaction and anaphylactic shock, and so or insulin, right? Like, what are people supposed to do, without insulin?
They also gave free tetanus and hepatitis vaccines for first responders.
The people in this town are very selfless. The people in this town have some of the biggest hearts that I've seen. We couldn't undo the tragedy, but we wanted to at least alleviate as much of the stress of the tragedy as possible.
It's that kind of generosity that helped the search and rescue teams as they finished their grueling work.
We're doing canine operations, drone operations, boats, swiftwater rescues. It's not glorious work. A lot of it's hot, sweaty. We've had people in the water, waist deep for hours.
Texas Search and Rescue's Patrick Turk is a retired homicide detective, so he's seen a lot. But he was especially touched by a recent gesture.
One of the lunches that was provided to us last week, they wrote nice little notes, handwritten notes, and they glued a wooden heart to that note. And it said, every time you get down or discouraged, keep this wooden heart with you and know that we're praying for you. So I have that wooden heart still with me, right there.
Like Turk, many of these rescuers were retired law enforcement or military, but a number were volunteers with day jobs or college students.
These are people that don't get paid a dime, and it's a struggle. It's hard to, mentally to keep the people focused, to keep our volunteers focused, but it's also hard mentally because we have seen some things that are difficult to deal with at times.
Check. Tracy Hernandez and Megan Corona are volunteer canine handlers.
We work at our regular jobs during the week, and in the evenings and weekends we search.
We were out here a week ago, and it was hard getting back into the day-to-day, just, okay, I have to do some laundry and some dishes and, just the normal things. I think we can all kind of give each other like a look and be like, you're good, you're good.
This work is actually personal for Hernandez. Her own nephew went missing years ago.
I don't want another family to feel like mine does and have their loved one out there not knowing where.
Come, let's go.
Joe Houston has been working with search and rescue operations around Texas for more than 25 years. He brought his 2 dogs, female Alta and male Anubis, who himself was rescued as a puppy off the streets in Austin. Though sometimes the dogs just want to be, well, dogs.
Oh, where are you going? That's coming.
Houston explained that their skills can be critical in finding the missing.
Anubis is more agile, and he's younger, so he can do longer, harder, more difficult tasks like a bunch of debris piles. Come here, guys. Say hi. He's fearless. He's done some things I wish he hadn't done, like jump off a bridge to go get a body. Alta's more seasoned and more slow. She tends to be methodical. This is not for everybody.
We own that area that was under construction. It is now open to emergency vehicles only.
Austin Hardin is the chief of the West Odessa Volunteer Fire Department.
It can be exhausting. Physically, it can, have some sleepless nights and take a drain at home in your personal life. And when you come home to your family, sometimes you're just quiet and you just need somebody just to sit there by your side.
His team came to help the Ingram Volunteer Fire Department.
We're all we got. We got to lean on each other. And when you see someone in their darkest day and you get to help them, it makes it all worth it, knowing that you made a change in someone's life.
Any first responder that served in Kerr County will tell you the work they did after the floods will never leave them. But the way the community came together on their darkest day will never leave them too.
I was born and raised in Texas, and I don't want to go anywhere else. You're not going to find people like this nowhere else.
That's something the river could never wash away.
It hasn't destroyed the city, hasn't destroyed their faith, and it hasn't destroyed their belief in their future and in their communities.
As the community still grapples with grief, the difficult road to rebuilding may just be beginning. But they're not doing it alone.
We need help in 2 weeks and in 2 months. We're taking care of our own the best we can, and the community is just stepping up and doing that. That's what Texans do.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave us a comment below to let us know your thoughts on this video. And don't forget, you can watch full episodes of Austin Insight for free in the PBS app.